9:13 p.m. Tuesday, March 26th, 2019. Episode number 712 of Yeah Dude. My name is Jonathan and this is Seth. Hello, Seth.
Hello, Jonathan. 712 episodes. Yeah Dude, America through the eyes of two American Americans. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And thank everybody for jumping into this episode.
Can I just kick off with some live show announcements
tell me
we're going to be doing?
Tell me where you're going and I will follow you.
April 20th.
Tell me where you're going to be. I'll meet you there.
I will be at the Lodge Room in Highland Park.
We'll call Seth.
April 20th. Our first LA live show in about 3 years. Tickets still available for the second show. That's April 20th, Saturday, at the Lodge Room in Highland Park. 420. Seth's sober birthday. Weeds. I don't know what Weeds.
What
Weeds
birthday would that
birthday.
be?
I don't know.
A lot of years. 600th. Biblical.
6,000th birthday.
How many do they talk about weed in the Bible? Probably a lot.
Well, they say things
What do
that
they say things like?
seem that maybe or seem as though they're referring to that sweet ganj.
Yes. Take the mother's barley from earth, twist up into the backwoods. Backwoods. We'll have to. I'm gonna talk to some religious scholars.
We're gonna have some present at the show, a specialist,
some family members. I'm gonna talk to.
Also, Saturday, June 22nd.
Oh, where I had you. We had that church on Western, the Weed Church. There's a sign in the window, just a piece of white paper. No weed, sorry, with a padlock on the door. Oh, church is closed today. Well, I was going to come get sacrament today.
No, I guess not.
Oh, there's a padlock. Isn't that padlocks on the church? Well, there are probably because there's a lot, like, after settlements. There's probably a lot of dioceses with padlocks.
When I was in Big Bear last month, there's one right on the main strip in Big Bear that's like,
is it
Jaws Irite
Jolly
Church.
Jaws Irite Church?
And I was like, oh, it's a dispensary that you can. I mean, I guess if you call yourself a church, you can smoke there.
You can smoke
You
indoors.
Yeah.
For a ceremony.
Jaws Church and Vape Lounge.
Wow.
Sorry. So Ferndale, Saturday, June 22nd at the Magic Bag. That's Detroit. Our second time there, which we're very excited about.
Come on, maybe I might buy a car in Detroit and drive it back to LA.
That's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Can we talk to any of the big three? Do they still exist?
Absolutely. I have a straight line.
All right, you've got a plug over there, one of the big three.
Yeah.
Maybe we could fucking lace me out on something there, and I could just drive it back to LA.
That would be the coolest thing you could do. You won't do it, and that would be the coolest
They won't
thing.
give it to you?
No, you won't.
They will give it to you. You will not drive it.
That'd be awesome if you did that.
Talk to your people.
I
got
will.
a little bit of time.
So that's Saturday, June 22nd. Saturday, July 6th in New Orleans, Louisiana.
4th of July weekend. Independence.
One-Eyed Jacks in the French Quarter.
We declared our independence. We tossed that tea overboard.
Yeah, that's 4th of July
And,
weekend.
because I'm from the area, that's why I still spill the tea. Oh, wanky, zing. Why does he spill the tea so much? Well, he's actually from New England, and the way he celebrates independence is he constantly spills tea.
And then Saturday, July 27th, we go back to the Murmur Ballroom.
Oh, my Lord.
In
the Boroughs.
Brooklyn,
What borough is that in?
I believe that's in Brooklyn.
Okay. Right by the Lower East Side.
Very excited to go back there. For those of you who were there last time, we played upstairs. This time we're downstairs in the main theater. Just one show, not two, like last time. Murmur Ballroom. Tickets should be on sale for all those.
Right there. We were in a beautiful upstairs ballroom, but we have graduated to the
main theater
synagogue, the main.
No, it's awesome
theater. So is it no longer
I believe it is still
for religious ceremonies? Okay,
it's still an active synagogue.
Okay,
but I don't know for sure.
Better be. I will not perform if it is not.
But tickets should be available and click-throughs on our website UhhYeahDude.com for all of those shows. Please get tickets. Come to those shows. Let us know you're coming so that we don't have to cancel them.
Speaking.
Thank you.
About cars.
Yes.
I did see if I can. I found a few things, but I was reading like a USA Today. They were like they looked at 700 yearbooks and found like blackface in like all of them. They went back into fucking yearbooks from the 70s and 80s. So I went into my all of my yearbooks. Make sure there's no blackface in my 8th grade high school or college yearbook. Hunkin, Haverhill High School, Emerson College. No, thank you. But I did found something of note, and there was a prophecy in my 8th grade yearbook. A live broadcast when Angel Buckley's cheery voice came over the air in the radio station that was built where C.D. Hunking School once stood. So apparently in this prophecy, my tiny middle school was turned into a broadcast terrestrial radio station, which I guess in 1987, whoever wrote this, looks like Kelvin Allen Brooks wrote this, or maybe Kelvin Allen Brooks drew those beautiful pillars. Either way, that was a possibility in 1987, that our middle school could have been raised and a radio station could be built on the site of it, right? I think.
Sure.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. It's June 19th, the year 2000. So not really, but I guess in 1987, that is, the year 2000 is
projecting.
like Prince. That's like, what? This week we will be celebrating anniversaries of graduations from C.D. Hunking. Let's begin with one of our best and brightest groups, the class of '87. This is their 13th anniversary. And here's the latest update on what our alumni have been up to. Let's see. Wait a second. After a successful merger, the millionaires Jack Barone and Seth Romatelli bought 2 of the 3 Lamborghinis remaining in the United States as a sign of their accomplishment. Wait a second. Thank you. Thank you. Or at least you had to. It was the secret. We didn't know the secret back then. If I had a fucking vision board in '87,
I would have known.
Which I kind of did.
Congratulations on that merger.
Thank
by
you.
The
The merger in the 2000 was a .com, the bubble, and Jack. And
we didn't ever talk about it because we didn't start the show yet.
Because Jack's down in Atlanta, and I saw it when we did a show in Atlanta. Jack came to that show. He looked like he was doing really well. He's
Whipping
in business.
Whipping one of the only
Whipping
Lambos.
one of the only Lambos left. You know, the Lambo scare of...
the Lambo drought.
Yeah, of 99. Oh, my God. Well...
Not quite.
That was year 2000. It's now 19 years after the 13 years. So that's...
So post-prophecy.
So let's take the prophecy. Okay, it didn't happen in 13. How about the next 13? No? Okay. Add a few more. And here we are. Oh, man. It's enough to make you...
This wealth comes in all types.
Does it come in different ways?
All different forms of wealth. Richness in life. Comes in many ways.
If I just had started
Many
that
forms.
fucking vision board.
I just bought that last Lambo.
There was only 3.
There was only 3 Lambos left.
Got the 3rd. It's crazy.
I don't think I ever stayed in any school long enough to
have a prophecy
be
written about
included.
you into a prophecy.
1 in 2 Americans are willing to ante up more cash at a business that has a clean, well-maintained restroom, according to the 10th annual Healthy Hand Washing Survey by Bradley Corporation. The number of those who will, quote, definitely or probably spend more money has hiked up 7 points to 52% this year compared to 45% in 2018. In addition, 64% of consumers make a conscious decision to choose a business based on the fact that it has cleaner, well-maintained restrooms.
Okay.
Women are even more likely to be drawn to pleasing restrooms compared to men, 67% versus 61%. In fact, clean restrooms are so desirable that 1 in 3 Americans say that they'd pay to use a restroom if it were assured it was clean and well-stocked.
Calm down.
Nearly 60% of Americans tell us that on average they use public restrooms anywhere from 1 to 5 times per week. And an additional 21% use restrooms 6 or more times a week.
Wow.
In all, 80% of people regularly use public restrooms.
Always in public restrooms,
Just
basically.
only ever. Never use their own home restroom.
Sometimes I use my home restroom.
I wake up and I need to pee. That's it.
But other than that, I mainly use public restrooms. Now, that wouldn't include work. That wouldn't be...
That's not public?
Well,
that's work.
I guess I don't think work would count because you got to go to the bathroom at
So
work.
this is at like a
This
Borders.
is just out in the
It's only at Borders.
out in the world. Panera. Oh, that Panera's bathroom
is to die
is
for.
lavender to die for. I used it 7 times last week. But how many times did you buy food at Panera? Not a one.
80% of people in all regularly use public
Are
restrooms.
obsessed with public restrooms.
As odd as it may sound for many of us, public restrooms are an important part of our everyday lives.
They're basically our lives.
Public restrooms also provide functional space beyond the necessities of using the toilet and
What?
washing hands. Almost half of adults utilize restrooms to
Shooting up.
intravenous drugs. Almost half of adults utilize restrooms to check their appearance, and 40% to blow their nose or cough. Interestingly,
Cough? Could you excuse me from this business meeting? Doot, 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 doot. Walk 3 minutes down. Walk back out. Did I miss anything at this important meeting?
I was coughing.
I was coughing. Quickly, just once.
27% regard restrooms as a respite or getaway.
Yeah. Gotta get out of this.
I gotta go masturbate.
This fucking table that will not allow me to masturbate. All my grandparents are here.
They visit the restroom to avoid someone, to cry,
The restroom is the shit, man.
to hide, or take a mental break. Another 25% use their cell phone in restrooms
To masturbate.
to masturbate too.
YouTube. How to intravenously shoot drugs. YouTube. What are you doing in there? Nothing. I had no idea that's where.
Well, I will
where it
say one thing.
happens.
I think people that work for a living in like real things, real jobs,
Go to
real
job
places,
9 to 5.
they commute. So they are away from their own homes and not within, especially if you use public transit and all that stuff, you can't just dip out and like run to your house to
No.
fucking drop a deuce.
Took an hour and 5 minutes to get to work. You can't go
So
home.
once you leave the house, you're
Forever.
forced to use
Yeah.
public restrooms until you get home
to do
late
everything,
that night.
I guess.
To do
Till
all
you get
your
home
things.
at midnight that night. So you basically, America sort of is all about public restrooms. I didn't really know until this study. It's where everything is happening.
I mean, I know you. I know that you avoid them at all costs, right?
Oh, gosh, darn yes.
I wouldn't say I avoid them at all costs, but I definitely don't like to use them as much as possible.
On your phone in them? I mean, there's not a bit much.
You mean
Phones are allowed everywhere. You don't need to go to them. I guess you're probably
it's quiet?
It's quiet. You're probably doing something you shouldn't be doing on the phone. The people that you're with, you can't let them see. NSFL, like what you're seeing here is not safe for this life. If you saw what I was doing, if you told anybody I know what's going on here,
But
so I got to go to the bathroom.
going back to the earlier part of it, I definitely get bummed out when I go to a restaurant and I go to the bathroom and it's like you guys like converted a fucking a part of the outdoor shed area and put a toilet in it. I mean, it's a bum out.
I used to store your shortening out here.
And
Now it's a
and definitely going to a place that has a nice bathroom.
Oh,
I feel like
pristine.
all right, we're doing okay.
I like this Outback Steakhouse. Works for me.
It's very nice.
What they've done in
This
here.
corporate bathroom is very nice.
Is this a
Very well stocked.
wow? It's an Outback Steakhouse, not like it used to be. People will pay premium for it. I hope restaurants know this.
I mean, I guess it makes sense because you feel like that's probably
Yeah.
the dirtiest place within an institution like that. And then if you go into that and you're like, well, this is clean, then
the kitchen looks
everything
like?
else must be clean
Actually,
too.
we're cooking. We do
This
some of
is-
the cooking
we
in the bathroom.
wash most of the vegetables in here.
That last stall, you see how it says out of order? It's actually wildly in order. Like broccoli?
That's where our deep fryer is.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But it's never.
I like you got to have a nice, clean bathroom. Doors that fucking, you can kick in. I don't know what you do. You just take
Dyson hand dryers.
Well, you have it. You just take a paper towel, you wrap it around your hand, and then you pull the handle, and then grab it with your elbow. And then usually, what they should do is put the basket close, so
They do.
at least you can throw it in.
A lot of places they
Sometimes
do.
you can't. You just gotta let
What,
it go.
throw it on the ground?
Sorry.
Is that what you do?
Well,
Throw
if
on
it
the
just
ground?
depends. If I can make the shot, If I miss, I'm not going to go back and start the process again of like getting another.
Wow.
I mean, I usually hit the shot. You know my game.
I bet.
Fucking that drip. Holy shit. Is it Seattle? What's the forecast? It's fucking raining.
It's raining threes in this bathroom.
What's up? Is it Detlef Shrimp in there? The spicy Del Curry?
Yeah, I don't quite go to that extent, but I'll definitely jam a door with my elbow or foot to avoid touching it. If somebody swings it open,
it's
I'm
heaven.
getting in there.
Thank
Like,
you. Right through them, like
Yeah.
chest to chest. Mwah. Mwah. Thank you.
Yeah.
A lot of kissing dudes in that. It has to happen. Mwah. It's totally understood. So one place it's just totally understood.
Yeah.
Real quick. Mwah.
Just in passing.
Thank you. I was reading my Reminisce magazine.
What is that?
This is a magazine that some fine listener of UhhYeahDude has sent to the studio. The stories that shape our lives. This was the magazine I gave her, the woman who, she was at the Playboy Club on New Year's, and that guy had his arms wrapped around like an octopus. I don't remember his name, but they had a great time. It was a memorable New Year's Eve. I think that might have been, where was that? Playboy Club, Denver?
Denver.
Home remedies for all ills, from head colds to toe splinters, have been handed down for generations. Do they work? Better ask the doc. So in this new issue of Reminisce magazine, some people wrote in some of their old-timey remedies that they've been handed down to them. Florence Stovall of Hayden, Idaho, who lived in a small town in the 40s, so going to a doctor was rare. When I was about 5, I got a perm in a beauty shop and had a reaction to it that caused me to develop eczema. My mom took me to a man for a treatment that was said to have been used for centuries. I sat on a chair in front of a large wood-burning stove as he waved an egg over my head while reading from the Bible. Then he threw the egg in the fire. My rash did go away, though. I don't know if I can't say if it was the treatment that did it. I mean, it was. It was obviously the treatment.
Yeah, the egg pulls
The egg with the biblical verse.
pulls the eczema out.
It pulls the eczema out
and
into the
absorbs
egg.
it into the egg.
And then you throw it into the fire, and it's like, poof, devil, be gone! But what she didn't tell you is the next person to warm their hands by the fire, covered in eczema.
Catch the eggs.
Chicken pox, it turns into. Fuck. So she sat, they brought him to a man. Can you imagine in Hayden, Idaho, the man they brought her to in the 40s? Just go to the man's house. Which man? You know, the man. The Bible egg man.
The egg man.
What's
The walrus.
You know, the man. It works.
So does this next person does the person doing this?
No, it was just
doesn't
people
like,
sharing.
You're full of shit.
No, I mean, because
Okay.
you're not. It's fixed. Gloria Caldominabagwe
Wow.
of, can't read it, Monee, Monee, Illinois. In the 40s, whenever I had a bad cold, my mom would make me drink a mug of boiled beer. It would make me really perspire, and soon it would put me to sleep. I don't know if that nasty tasting recipe shortened my cold, but it sure lengthened my nap, which was probably the most helpful remedy of all. So,
Boil though.
boiled beer, really heavy, sort of high alcohol,
So is
heavy
that,
lager.
You think that makes it more alcoholic or less alcoholic?
I don't know. She's a child.
Right. So regardless, she's
there's
catching a sweet buzz.
Yes, this sweet boiled buzz, and then I guess she would pass out, bonk,
Wake up in the
in
cold.
the middle of this
2 days later.
living room, and they would step over her for 2 days, and then right as rain. Good
I feel
remedy.
like that maybe worked. That's a real thing.
I would imagine giving your child drugs
Boiled
that
drugs.
knock them out, boiling drugs and knocking your child out. Cheryl Seals, Colorado Springs, Colorado. I had a ganglion cyst on my wrist, and Dad said he had just the remedy for it. He told me to place my hand flat on the table. Then he took his Bible and smacked my wrist as hard as he could. It scared the stuffing out of me, but my cyst disappeared. This cure would never be used now. A ganglion cyst
It's not true.
is a
It's
little
exactly what.
is a little
It's exactly
cyst
what they
here
do.
in your hand. It's what
Basically, what they do at the doctors, they just don't use a Bible.
they use a humongous Bible.
But I mean, you pop, you shatter
They
it,
use a phone book
and
now?
the body absorbs it.
It said they're called Bible cysts or Bible bumps because that is, for many years, the Bible was the biggest book in the
heaviest
house.
book they could get,
So
so.
get the Bible out. Get an egg. We don't need it for that one. That's for the skin conditions.
Bible says.
Put your hand down and let your huge father take all of his strength, run up and jump with the legs to get extra force. You're 5. Your tiny little cyst, which can't be that big. You're only 5 years old. Your hand is out. You're not sure what to. You've had some boiled beer, so you're a little loose
You're
anyway.
a little loose.
And he comes down with full weight with his work boots. Wham! I guess the fractured wrist and arm forearm would take away. The cyst goes away, and you don't think about the pain because your hand is then dangling off because your father whacked you with a fucking Bible.
Yeah, I've seen a cyst get done away with.
Get
that
done
way.
right.
Yeah.
Like we use like a Tashin book now. Just use like
Yeah,
what do we have?
any
Like
sort of, like,
get the big dick book from Tashin.
Helmut Newton.
Slam that big dick book on my daughter's fucking hand. The book of big dicks.
It works though. It also doesn't hurt that bad.
Really?
No.
Because
The cyst
the
doesn't
cyst
have-
absorbs all of the.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have feeling in it. The cyst.
It doesn't have emotion.
It doesn't have any feeling.
Interesting.
But yeah, that works. You can also just squeeze it.
Pliers and just squeeze it.
until it pops.
So you do scissors, cut the bottom out, and zzz. Let's just reminisce about the 40s.
Yeah, there's a lot of fucking shit that they would do.
I bet we could probably. Your mom growing up in the UK, I bet they do some wild fucking
They
shit.
probably had some wild stuff.
I mean, things are getting bombed. You're in a fucking basement. They were pulling out anything they could.
Yeah, salves. And
Eat
stuff.
this. Well, that's like part of the wall. Yeah.
You gotta eat it though.
You got to eat it, though, because we haven't eaten today.
or it won't work.
Fucking shit. Everybody get under the table. Eat it.
Speaking of health, USA Today snapshots. Percentage of young Americans not seeking professional health assistance.
Oh,
Percent who struggle with mental health.
100.
This is percentages. This is a 2019 study done about young Americans not seeking health assistance who struggle with mental health.
Okay.
By age group,
Okay.
55 and older.
People 55 and older.
People 55 and older. 22% struggle for mental health.
Okay.
15% don't get help. 7% seek help. So 22% of that age group is suffering from mental health. 7% seek help. 15% do not seek help.
Okay.
In the 35 to 54 age group, 56% are suffering from mental health.
Okay.
34% of them do not seek help, while 22% do.
Okay.
And in the 18 to 34 age bracket, 73% have mental health. Have mental
it.
health issues. Are struggling with mental health. And 52% of them are not seeking
It's impossible.
help for it. 24% do.
What's the percentage of? What was the age group? The youngest age group? It was.
Youngest age group is 18 to 34.
And how many people in that
76%.
would like to have some mental health? And what was the old people?
Wait, that's 76% are
Are
struggling.
very struggling, yeah, with like mental health
But
concerns.
only 50% of them.
But not even just the number. What about the old people? It's way less.
22%.
And that's just because you figured it out, or you gave up, or you just realized it.
I think you gave up and figured
You've
it-
tried
figured it
everything?
out. I mean,
Tried every modality,
I don't know. Maybe
drugs,
they just don't.
meditation,
Maybe they just don't
yoga, walking, bird watching.
maybe they just don't have.
Or maybe you don't. Maybe you.
It's just not as bad.
maybe you're all right.
It's just not maybe as bad.
Maybe it's not as
For
bad.
them.
But you're so closer to death, so you think you'd be more nervous. That's a huge number for the young age group
Yes.
that don't have access to that shit because...
Well, we would think
we
that
haven't
maybe
made
that
money
has
to,
to do with. I mean, the difference would be in how I guess maybe how their lives have been spent.
You think it's their fault?
Well, no, I'm just saying. I mean, do we think that the age bracket 18 to 34 that currently, let's say that these 55-year-olds, only 22% of them are suffering from mental illness. But if you would ask those same people when they were 35, that
I see what you're saying.
over half of them would say that they were, that like you're saying that somehow it's gotten, that it's that mental health stuff has gone away over time because life has taken its course and that you've
run its
somehow
toll.
either grown out of it or given up or found ways of treating it.
I don't know.
Or is it just that, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe
That-
at one point what you would consider some mental health issues, at this point you're just like, oh, that's just fucking me.
That's just who I am.
Oh, I scream in people's faces.
I think that
That's
could have
just-
something to do with it as well.
That's
What
just Doug.
constitutes
That's just Doug being Doug. I'm sorry.
That probably does have play a part in it.
I'm a monster. I'm Doug.
I've been a monster.
I've been a monster since I was 18. I tried to deal with it. Again, different modalities. Weed, booze, fucking yoga, church, therapy, walking,
Army.
bird watching, army. Yeah, Doug's Doug.
But I would think that a dog.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
And maybe it's just being 18 when someone was, let's say someone's in their 60s, when they were 18, it was all good. In the way that maybe being 18 now, it ain't all good.
Right.
Although then you think it's always the same, but it's
not.
probably not.
No.
They didn't have the gram.
No, it's not.
Hey, Grandpa. Grandpa, again, did you have the gram? Oh, I don't know what the gram is.
Shut up.
Stop talking about the gram.
I think.
Grandpa doesn't do it for the gram.
I think. Well, I mean, this makes me just. I mean, I wanted to say something about the fact that I've talked here and there
Openly
about.
Honestly.
I need to maybe make it clear that in no way anything that I say on this show should, first of all, definitely be taken with a grain of salt, because I think that we do try to maintain that there's an entertainment factor that we try to keep present in the show, even when talking about ourselves personally, and I certainly am that way. But also that my sharing my choices that I or my sort of personal experiments that I do on myself with my mind state or spiritual state, or in no way do I condone or suggest taking those matters into your own hands and not consulting a professional or doctor, or taking what I'm saying as somehow a clearer idea of what's going on than a mental health professional. My choices about not taking antidepressants or taking them or weaning myself off of them or any of that stuff.
Do you have any update on that from your last?
I'm back on my shit.
Back on it. Back on
almost,
this bullshit.
We talked about it on the show. I mentioned to you that I had been off, not really intentionally off, but just sort of between forgetting and running out. Realized that I was maybe off them. And decided that, well, if I'm a week into being off of them, maybe I'll do another week and be off of them entirely and see how I feel. And like a train, it was like I left here that
station,
night,
if you will,
jumped in the car, and I was driving home. And there's usually a feeling in me after doing these shows that I talk about, which is just there is a feeling of accomplishment, or
absolute euphoria.
pride.
That's what I feel.
I wouldn't go that far.
Okay,
but
maybe
pride
that's just
or
me.
relief or something that
Positive feelings
most
coursing through your body.
9 times out of 10. So And I was driving home, and I just all of a sudden, I just realized like, oh, I feel like shit, and that I had started to feel like shit maybe about 48 hours before, which is why I recognized that I had been off my pills, is that subtly there was something happening, a shift happening in me that I was recognizing before I was really or seeing the symptoms of it. And so essentially I got home and got back on. And that is not, again, definitely not something I recommend is like, you know, kind of hopscotching around that stuff. I mean, in order to try to make sure it's doing its job, let it do its job and take it as regularly as you can, obviously per, you know, doctor's orders. Although I do believe that there's over prescription or overdosing often in these situations. And, you know, just because they say to ramp up over a couple of weeks doesn't mean you can't elongate that ramp up process, but to keep it consistent, I think is important. But regardless of any of that,
yes,
it in no way, all I'm doing is exploring my own personal thing. And I feel stable enough at this point in my life that I know that I can do that, and that nothing too scary was going to happen to me. Yeah. Just because of just where I'm at in my life, in part because of my sobriety, and in part just because of how I feel about myself at this point in my life. I don't love the idea of being on a SSRI. I've never have liked the idea of it, and so my reluctance about it kind of comes back up periodically. But as Seth and I talked about the next day, because I called him right afterwards, and I was like, I mentioned that on the show, and I was like, I got home that night, and I took my pill because I knew that I wasn't feeling right. For me right now, there's still a marked improvement with my ability to just sort of deal with the stuff that I deal with, the struggles that I have with my temper, or my depression, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I love talking about it, but in no way do I think that I know more than other people.
I don't think anyone
in that. Well, I think some people actually do, because some of the people were like, "Yo, like, stop," because people listen to you and like they're going to go off their pills now. And I was like, "Well, I don't."
You got to talk. You got to share your experience.
Yes,
We're having this conversation.
And that's what it is. It's my experience, and I'm down to talk about it.
Kind of a doctor.
I'm pretty much a doctor and also a spiritual healer. So I mean, I do have some authority.
Yeah, I mean, I just read that, and Josh Duhamel is getting some. I don't know what a doctorate is. I think a doctorate is some sort of like, now you're a doctor.
Josh is a doctor?
Or he has a doctor? Well, he's going to
be a doctor.
Be a doctor? Or
he's a doctor.
Is a doctorate because you get some sort of... Is that when people say, I'm a doctor in this? Because you, like, a college bestows that on you? From his fine film work and from his...
So now he's a doctor because he did so much good movies.
Because he's done so much good for the state of North Dakota, for the tourism.
He can now do doctor
Transformers.
Stuff.
He's Bumblebee. Dr. Bumblebee. Hello, I used to be married to Fergie. Call me Dr. Bumblebee.
I'm Dr. Bumblebee.
I'd like to talk to you about SSRIs.
Don't take them.
Or do.
Snort them, though, if you take them.
I'm beautiful. Deal with it. A team of researchers at North Carolina State University has found that people living in the United States tend to set their thermostats to temperatures that mimic natural environmental conditions in parts of Africa.
Hold on. Just start again.
A team of researchers at North Carolina State University has found that people living in the United States tend to set their thermostats to temperatures that mimic natural environmental conditions in parts of Africa. In their paper published in the journal Royal Open Society Science, the group describes their study, which involved installing sensors in homes across the U.S., and what they found. In their paper, the researchers note that they did not start out looking to match indoor air environments with natural environmental conditions. That just came later. Their original intent was to learn more about the creatures that exist in homes along with people, such as microbes, insects, rodents, etc. Rodents. They wanted to know if the numbers varied depending on the indoor climate. To find out, they asked people living in 37 homes across the U.S. to set up a sensing device in their house. The devices took temperature and humidity readings every hour for a year. At the end of the year, the sensors were sent back to researchers who analyzed the data. The researchers found that the lowest average temperatures came to 8 degrees Celsius. I have converted for us as our friend. That's 46 degrees Fahrenheit, which I still don't understand because isn't that freezing fucking
So
cold?
fucking cold.
Ice cold.
So cold.
Yes. Generally at night when people turn down their thermostats so they can freeze to fucking death,
In their sleep.
they love flannel. They want to get the flannel out. Weighted blankets and flannel. The highest mean maximum was 36 degrees Celsius. That's 97 degrees Fahrenheit.
This is insane.
It can't
This
be
is a
right.
stupid
I mean, I
study.
like that.
This is a dumb
I'll turn it
study.
up. The researchers then split this into cells, half a degree longitude and latitude and size, plugged in actual average temperatures for each cell. Don't know what that means. They compared the averages for homes in the U.S. with the data that they found people in the found the people in the U.S. set the environmental conditions inside their homes in a way that was very nearly exactly matching the environmental conditions in Western Kenya and other parts of Eastern Africa. They noted that the conditions in Kenya also tend to be quite dry, similar to the U.S. They further noted that Kenya and nearby areas are believed to be places where modern humans first appeared on the planet. They conclude by suggesting that modern humans are setting their thermostats to give them roughly the same climate that they were exposed to during the period when they had no control over the weather. It is apparently the climate in which humans are still the most comfortable. That's a reach, but I love it.
I love it. It's such a weird
This
reach.
is where we're from.
This is how it feels.
I now live in East Hollywood. I used to live in East Kenya, and I will mimic it. I don't know about 46 degrees. Jonathan, I don't go outside if it's 46 degrees. It's too, that's fucking freeze to
that's
death.
a huge
Huge, yeah.
difference in 37 homes to be the averages being between just above, well, not just above freezing, but still
Freezing cold
and like
boiling
boiling
hot.
fucking hot. So I mean, it gives. I thought everyone just wanted it at like 75 degrees at all times.
No. Minnesota in the winter, Bikram fucking studio. Meet me somewhere in the middle.
I thought it was going to get even crazier and be like they would try to mimic it. Like it just so happened that the average temperatures would actually mirror what it was in
Each
Kenya
day,
at that time.
every hour on the hour. This is so weird. Amazing.
But it would.
But we know biologically
that's where we're from.
that's where we're from, all of us. And so let's just do it here.
Let's just make it here.
I live here. I used to live there. It's all good. I will somehow, in my DNA, I guess, I will subconsciously mimic that. Because, the human body, it's very amazing. It's very... We're learning a lot. I don't know if we learned anything from that because I'm suspect, but I love it.
It's cool.
I like what they're saying.
I like what they're saying
It's
too.
a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's cool.
Hey, we're all from here, and now we're all here. It's all the same.
Cool study.
It's cool study, guys.
Cool study, guys.
Don't know if we're going to find out in a few years that was way off. 46 degrees, huh? You really like to turn it down at night.
How could the thermostats don't go that
They
low.
don't go that low.
They like bottom out at 60 degrees.
Yeah, you can't get anything other 65 is.
The Columbus River in Ohio. In Columbus, Ohio, fish in the
Cuyahoga sounds good.
Cuyahoga River.
Gets screamed at on the voicemail, but I'll just say
fine.
that you said it, not me.
Cuyahoga River, which became synonymous with pollution when it caught fire in 1969, are now safe to eat, federal environment regulators say. Now, the Cuyahoga River has caught fire a total of 13 times, dating back to 1868. The 1969 fire helped spur action that led to the passage of the Clean Water Act that was passed in 1972.
Okay, so we're from records that they know from 1868 when they have the first sort of sketch
Sketch of a river
sketch
fire.
of that fucking river's on fire. Crazy. Well, what do you think it is? Could be all the factories just kind of like putting stuff in the river.
I mean, that's almost it's probably not pre-factories.
Oh
but
no,
it's-
that's just fucking them. Just
what if there's just like maybe oil that gets mixed in? There's an oil. I don't know.
it's probably that's all just
human
miles of like
refuse.
like outhouses and
Run
fucking outhouses and factories. So by 1969, when they're at how many times is that? So it's like all right, this is
This is
nuts.
nuts.
Because now it's 1969. They have I think they had cameras then. They were primitive,
Very
but they could still capture images.
huge.
And so then they said, let's do something about it. Why not? But from what we're being told, the fish, that live there, where the last 150 years, where all the outhouses and the factories put their stuff. What do we do with all this? What are you pointing at? The river.
The fish.
Put it right in there.
Give it to the
Who
fish.
lives in there? The fishies. You can eat them now. But can you? I don't know. They're saying you can.
You don't buy it.
I'm not buying that.
I mean, they say you can drink LA tap water too, but I don't
Do they say that?
think so.
Well,
Nobody says.
how many bodies are in those fucking systems? Are you kidding me? This is the EPA. They're saying you can do it. It's all good. Have some fish from the river. It hasn't been on fire in like fucking 45 years.
Despite having some contaminant levels that are well above the recommended health limits, it's safe to say that LA tap water, sourced from the LADWP, is as safe to drink as bottled tap water.
I don't know.
Bottled tap water.
Okay, maybe that's because maybe that's.
However, when you consider the contamination levels of Los Angeles tap water, this seems like a rather reckless statement. So,
I mean, listen, I don't know anything about that because people, you buy water, you're just buying tap water anyway or whatever. People, all I know is if you turn a sink on, I don't care what fucking city it is, unless they made those pipes like 3 months ago, what are you trying to tell me? Shit that they built like back in whenever that have just been underground for fucking 60 years. You're telling me that like the water coursing through that is
sort of what the consensus is. LA's tap water is officially as clean as bottled water, but people are like, yeah, but not the pipes that it runs through.
Oh, okay.
So they're saying like, yeah, the water's okay, but the plumbing system is the issue.
Under fucking ground in a fucking garbage world for 100 years.
They're 80 years old.
Dog.
70 to 80 years old throughout the city.
I mean, I know 80 years ago, we were huge on the environment. Everything 80 years ago, they were just like, they really knew everything about the environment. They really took care of it about 80 years ago. They were always recycling and like, Doug, we started recycling like, I don't know, you probably did because you're in LA. I didn't see a fucking blue can until I moved out here. Yeah. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. Drink it. Eat it. The fucking fish from the river, the one with the pictures with the fire?
The fire river?
Fuck that fire river. That's old, dog. It's been 40, 50 years. Eat the fucking fish. But no. Do I have to? Yeah.
You have to.
You have to. And you can only drink water from the pipes. Now die.
Now go and die.
Now
like
go and die
else.
so rich people can be more rich. Fuck. You take up so much space, you stupid poor people. Eat the fish and drink the water and die already. God. What are we going to do here?
I know. What do you want to
What are we going to get rid of you? We live forever. We have doctors. You're dumb. Fire people. River people. Oh, fuck. Driving age in South Dakota?
14?
Yeah. Getting that good license, that 14-year-old driver. Is this how you do it? Grand motherfucking theft auto. 14 years and you get the permit, and at 14 years and 3 months, if you get a special license, there's some restrictions, like you can drive from like 10 to 6. Yeah. You can't drive at night unless someone's with you, but you can drive by yourself. Mostly people get it 14 years and 6 months because they don't take that extra special test. But at 14 and a half in South Dakota, you're fucking
whipping wood
You're
grain.
fucking holding that wood grain and just fucking, oh my God, candy drip in that fucking station wagon.
Just pinky drop.
Oh my God. That power steering fucking candy drip. Is that a 14-year-old? Fuck yeah, it is. Cigarello, just like flask of whiskey. 16's fucking too young. You kidding me? 16?
So crazy.
Would you get in the car with a 16-year-old driver? Hell no. Would you get in with a 14-year-old? How about a 12-year-old?
Just do it.
Do it. Why the fuck? Why do we have laws? How about a 10-year-old? Can you drive 10-year-old? Fuck yeah, I can. Candy fucking dripping. My 10-year-old's crazy. Got a BMW 3 Series. He fucking loves to drive to middle school.
He loves middle.
He loves middle school. He picks up the homies. Really? Yeah, we made it to 10 because why have anything? Why have any rules? 14's young.
But they need it so they can drive all those farm
yeah, they got to
vehicles.
get out. No buses can take them to school. You got to get there.
That kind of shit.
Yeah, I need a fucking
You need to drive those Polarises or whatever. Those like,
Yeah, I
those
can't get in this
assault
fucking
vehicles.
John Deere and just fucking
Going to school.
3 hours to school. What do you learn there at school? They teach. What do they teach in school these days?
I don't know.
You can't be learning anything.
I don't know.
Some fucking textbook from like 1978. Oh, well, here, let's open up the textbook, and 2 + 2 is still 4. Fuck that shit. I'm homeschooling now. Now I've decided it.
You are.
Yeah, I
huh?
can teach these kids right.
In here.
Fuck right in here.
Sit down.
Sit down, Jennifer.
Listen.
Watch. Watch it. It's called Selling Sunset. I didn't know about it. Jonathan told me about it. It's on Netflix. Watch it. Tell Daddy how it is. Daddy, what does this have to do with math? It's numbers, baby.
Big numbers.
You crunch big numbers. 2 + 2 is 4. Yes, but what's 20 million plus 20 million?
3% of 22 million.
What's 3% when you sell that house? Yeah, my daughter's 10. She's a real estate agent in Hollywood. Amazing.
Online broker.
She's an online broker. And she drives to work. I don't fucking know, man. Who gives a fuck, really? Let's drop the drinking age. Let's drop all of it.
It's just.
Fuck it. We're already there.
I think that's a
Just
good idea.
go for it. Obviously, we did it one way. Bad.
Didn't pan
Busted
out so
wrong.
hot.
Didn't work. Across the board.
So now it's
So now
you're on your own.
you got to open it up. You got to be free.
You could do like suggested.
Suggested driving age 8 to 12. Can't drive at night. Can't drive past dusk from 8 to 10. You can drive till 9 from 10 to 12. You can drive till midnight from 10 to 14. You can pick up hitchhikers. You have to be at least 10 to pick up a hitchhiker. Pick me up. Is that a 10-year-old driving? Pick me up. How would you have to be to drive like a semi? 12.
Yeah, 13.
13.
Yeah. It's like your 13th birthday.
Or just be height. Like you can't get on this ride. How tall are you?
I'm 5'2".
She's 5'2". You gotta be 5'3". My sister's 5'3". Well, then get her in the fucking car. Could you drive these oranges 70 states away? Are there 70 states? Hey, I have a truck, and I have an idea. Like, instead of we'll get the food, just drive it like from here all the way to there, because it sounds efficient, right? They like broccoli from here, so drive it 9 days away. Broccolini? Yeah, it's from California. Awesome. Where's these lobsters from? Maine? This is crazy. I live in Montana.
How did they get them?
How'd they get here? They put them on a truck and they fucking drove them. Oh, man. What's this water taste weird? I don't know, because the pipes are 80 fucking years old. How do you think the water tastes? I mean, a pipe from 80 years ago? That was just, what is that?
I mean, there's
Tobacco
pipes-
and lead? And what do they make it
There's
out
pipes
of?
in my house that are 10 years old, 15 years old, and
Oh,
they're not
just busted.
not
Leaking.
not fit.
Dog.
Not fit.
Not fit for any consumption.
Much less long throws of pipe that have been moving around,
Shifting underground with earthquakes and tectonic shifts and garbage constantly. I can't even. Oh, the water's fine. It's just the pipes are fine. They're only 80 fucking years old.
the people that are the
Oh,
problem.
the people are the jerks. All rude. Okay.
In the beautiful state of Hawaii,
Gorgeous.
they are proposing they would be the first state in the U.S. to ban most plastics at restaurants under new legislation that aims to cut down on ocean pollution. A second proposal would prohibit fast food and full-service restaurants from using plastic drink bottles, utensils, bags, and straws. So that's fucking rad. Also, in the state of Hawaii, the state is allowing visitors now who qualify to receive medical marijuana elsewhere
Okay.
in the United States to register with them
Hey, I'm here for the week.
and buy it from dispensaries.
Can I get fucking high here?
on the
you
island.
can now.
You can now.
Oh, do you get high where you're from?
I do.
Legally. Get high here.
Get high here then.
Yeah, I don't know how you're gonna take that takeout though, because we don't have any
I'm going to eat it.
nothing. You gotta eat it here.
in your hands. Eat it
You
from
might-
your hands.
Fuck.
That's awesome.
They're really doing it there.
We're going to raise the smoking age to
100,
100,
yeah.
which is also awesome.
Amazing.
Banning fucking suntan lotion.
Gotta.
So basically, white people can't go there anymore.
Oxybenzene's
Stop
good.
ruining
good riddance.
everything.
The fucking.
I don't know, man. That's all. I'm for.
On board.
I'm for all of it.
Oh, this weed is great. It's Maui Wowie. But really it is.
Because
Cool.
you're in Maui.
Hey, you're in Maui? You ever smoke Maui Wowie? I heard about it in the movies. Well, smoke it. It's going to fucking wreck you. Okay.
Okay.
But how do I eat without anything? How do I drink without a straw? You got to figure it out. You're in Hawaii now, baby. You got to get back on the land, back to nature.
Well, they got plenty of those paper straws. You just unfortunately have to use like 3 or 4 of them
Gotta take
throughout
a-
the length of a drink because
Gotta
they
take a
disintegrate.
monk seal whisker and like, don't do that. Well, what the fuck you want me to do is the straws. Okay.
Stop pulling the whisker.
Stop pulling the whisker as a sleeping monk seal. What the fuck you want me to do, man? There's no straws. What are you, Adrian Grenier? Fuck. I mean, somebody's got to do it.
Well,
you just do
especially
it, and
there.
then you just say, "Hey, fuck
I mean, you know
off.
that they're looking at the world being like,
Oh my
we
God.
are like
This paradise
We're
is-
next to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, I got in literally the last week you could go there. When we were on the plane, they basically said, like, thank you for coming. We live in a garbage world. Today was the last day of beauty.
This is the
Bye.
last day of
Polynesian
Hawaii.
culture. And bye. Goodbye. We can't give you lays on the way out. The flowers have all died in the week you've been here. You live in a garbage world. Bye. The Cowboys are playing the Rams in a preseason game
in LA.
at Aloha Stadium.
Oh, you're gonna go after
No,
that?
but if that was a regular season game, oh man,
You'd go.
fuck yeah! If it was if that game counted
You would go
on the schedule,
That would be enough to tip the scales.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they did those 2 fucking junkers at the Coliseum. That preseason bullshit is such a joke. Well, I did see Rain Dakota Prescott's very first touchdown pass as a Dallas Cowboy, which was a nice treat because we didn't know. We didn't know what we were getting at the time.
You didn't know what you were walking into.
I didn't know. But yeah, I'd be all over that. Just like I saw like Guns N' Roses at Aloha Stadium, and I was
Isn't
like,
that where they do the Pro Bowl? Is that
yeah, it's
every
like the-
year they do it at the Aloha Stadium?
I don't
Isn't
think
it?
they
Or
do.
no?
I think they do it in the city that the Super Bowl's in now. I don't think everyone's like, this doesn't count. So can we at least go to Hawaii, please?
That was such a
It's the
cooler
only-
idea.
I mean, are you fucking out of your mind? What are they thinking?
I don't know. Just making shit shittier.
Yeah, just making shit shittier. We're doing it down in San Diego this year. What? But it was in. I didn't make it till on the team last
30
year.
years it was in Hawaii.
It was in Hawaii every fucking year. No, this year it's in San Diego.
Beautiful San Diego.
Enjoy it. Qualcomm Stadium, San Diego. No offense to the fine city of San Diego. Beautiful people.
Doesn't have a team anymore.
Doesn't have a team, but they're mad about it. So that's
They're gonna
half the battle.
That starts the process.
Beautiful people down there. The beautiful city.
I've never done a show in San Diego.
That would be a dream.
I mean, it would be cool.
What's it? Fish tacos? What's the flavor down there? Flip flops?
Great fucking burritos. Great Mexican food.
Great burritos. Not in LA, down in San Diego.
Different style.
They don't have good Mexican food here. Let's go down to Diego and get a burrito.
We have California Mexican.
Okay.
They have Mexicali.
Interesting. Curious. They have limes down there? The limes from there? Well, cocaine.
Probably some cocaine.
They have a skate culture? Do they have a strong skate culture?
Skateboarding?
Skateboarding.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw an Instagram post of you. You were younger.
A bit.
You had a T-shirt on, and people were talking about the T-shirt. What was that?
Alien Workshop.
In that Alien Workshop, was that a skatewear company?
Skateboarding company.
Skateboard
company.
Still?
I believe. I don't know.
I mean, that vintage tee, if you still had that, you'd probably make some money on eBay with that
It's weird.
bad boy.
I follow this vintage store in LA, Varsity, and he just posted an Alien Workshop, like super sick Alien Workshop shirt, and I'm like, oh,
Oh,
it's
if I
like
just
so
had
much
that,
money.
Yeah, bring it in there.
Yeah.
Buy it off you for like $300. Thank you.
Yeah.
What was going on with your ears?
Stretched out.
Stretched out.
Had
Thought I
some
saw
spacers in there.
Had to.
Some plugs.
Had to.
Didn't call them spacers. Called them plugs.
Plugs. That was 99.
No, it was later than that.
It was after
was
the Y2K.
I think Damaris sent me the picture, and I think she said it was maybe 2004,
Oh.
which is pretty wild. I don't think
No
that's
way.
right.
No way.
Can't be right.
2004. You were 27. We were at Peru's. Hell no.
So it was maybe 2000.
Right when I got my Lamborghini. Probably took that picture about a week after I pulled up on my Lambo.
Little goat. Pretty
Yeah.
Sweet goatee.
Looked good. You looked happy.
I mean,
And isn't that half the battle?
I'm sure that was a lie, but
Fuck.
I didn't know
What was to come?
I didn't know what it was to be unhappy, but I.
That's a beautiful time. Yeah, that happens. You're sort of living. This is amazing.
I don't even think it goes that far. You're not even thinking about it.
You don't even know. You're just living.
You're not even. Yeah.
You're not even. But then you go somewhere you didn't know existed.
I think at some point you're like, oh, this is amazing. And then you're like, wait, if this is amazing, then like, then it's also not amazing.
There has to be a yin and a yang to this whole thing.
And then it's like.
And then you're like, this is so good. It gets that bad. And then you're like, actually, it gets even worse than the highest highs. It's a greatly crazy thing. It's like losing feels 10 times worse than winning feels good. I still don't know. It's life. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You mean winning and doing something and accomplishing things feels great, but the other end, oh man.
That is deep.
Oh, deeper.
Way deeper.
Sweet. An international research team, including a member of the Complexity Science Hub Vienna. That sounds fucking
deep, heavy group.
Heavy, deep think. Investigated the role of, quote, big gods in the rise of complex, large-scale societies. Big gods, not big dogs.
Like the boxers.
Big gods, which is our new boxer brief company.
Big gods.
Big gods are defined as moralizing deities who punish ethical transgressions. Contrary to prevailing theories, the team found that beliefs in big gods are a consequence, not a cause of the evolution of complex societies. The results are published in the current issue of the journal Nature. For their statistical analyses, the researchers used the CSHAT Global History Databank. It is the most comprehensive collection of historical and prehistorical data. Currently, it contains 300,000 records on social complexity, religion, and other characteristics of 500 past societies spanning 10,000 years of human history.
Sweet. What are you doing this weekend?
Deep diving.
I downloaded the CSHAT.
Yeah, I got the CSHAT app.
The VR CSHAT app.
Oh, got the VR CSHAT hat. I'm going in. I'm going to go back about 4,000 years into, I think, maybe the 81st society and to see what they did. Did they fuck? How'd they fuck? It has been a debate for centuries why humans, unlike other animals, cooperate in large groups of genetically unrelated individuals, said the CSHAT director and co-founder Peter Turchin from the University of Connecticut. Factors such as agriculture, warfare, or religion have been proposed as the main driving forces. One prominent theory, the big or moralizing God hypothesis, assumes that religious beliefs were key. According to this theory, people are more likely to cooperate fairly if they believe in gods who will punish them if they don't. To our surprise, our data strongly contradict this hypothesis. In almost every world religion for which we have data, moralizing gods tended to follow, not precede, increases in social complexity. Even more so, standardized rituals tended on average to appear hundreds of years before gods who cared about human morality. Such rituals create a collective identity and feelings of belonging that act as a social glue, making people to behave more cooperatively. Our results suggest that collective identities are more important to facilitate cooperation in societies than religious beliefs. That make sense?
Yes.
What'd that mean? What about them big gods striking down
big
some
god,
shit?
The big god theories would evolve from...
Big God gonna get you. Is that what people say? Oh, don't do that. Big God gonna get you. And then you're like, all right.
But that they
what you know about Big God?
But that weren't in that idea wasn't created, and thus because of that, people would fall in line and be able to group up and form a society, that the society would form, and then almost as a reaction
okay, so we're all here
maybe trying to explain the phenomena of how is it that we've all managed
This is true.
to
How are we
gather
doing
up?
this thing here?
And they're like, it must be a big god.
The Big God, man. Don't steal my shit. Oh, you don't know enough about that Big God yet. And so then your transgressions your transgressions are being watched.
But seems like if that's true,
yes, it
that
is,
it's
'cause that's science.
comforting concept, because that the God that our tendency as people is to
human beings
is to commune and group up, and
that makes sense, right?
That we whatever, put aside our differences for some sort of greater good or greater cause. Now, some of those causes obviously not being humanitarian causes, but just we need a bigger field, and in order to have a bigger field, survival. But that we tend to try to do that prior to some type of controlling, outside controlling deity concept that would, in essence, force us out of fear to do that. That maybe that becomes something that we, upon finding ourselves in that situation, that we try to explain that and come up with that idea, rather than that idea being the driving force behind corralling us all together into these large masses under one massive fear
Of the big God.
of big God. I mean,
How do they tell, though, in a sort of chicken or the egg? How do you know?
I suppose that through recorded history that you can see when the rise of religion occurs, and it occurs after that there's evidence that the society had already
Communities
formed.
Okay.
But I don't know why. Maybe I don't know why I find that
Comforting.
well, maybe that's not the right word, but I did say that. But I often don't use
say
the right
words.
word, but something about that.
What I meant was terrifying.
What I meant was absolutely.
Did I say comforting? I meant absolutely horrifying. Wow. Okay. It's just words.
It's just words. I get mixed up.
Silly old
sometimes.
gooses. And by gooses, I meant gods.
Big gods.
Big gods. You're rolling now with the big gods.
It's coming down.
Oh,
well.
Almost had it. We were
Almost the
minutes
whole show.
away from getting in.
We should have wrapped it up.
So you say grommets?
I would personally come over and install a couple of grommets into this thing for you.
Okay.
But you have brass eyelets then in the top of it. So it will have a hole, but the hole will be...
But it won't in any way... I don't want to...
I think it would... I mean, we're talking about a big brass eyelet.
But I don't want to degrade the integrity of this incredible piece in any way. It's not going to...
It would be above the seam, the stitch seam there.
Okay.
It would be
Sorry, we're doing... I have a
brass hole
something
eyelet.
that's on my wall that's been up
the
with
giant
a sort of
Watts Tower poster.
3M tape, but it's too heavy for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not happening.
It's just a metaphor for society
our
itself
time being
holding on for dear life.
Dangling,
waiting
3M
for a grommet.
thread.
Could the big god talk have had anything to do
Possibly.
with this coming down? Almost crushing me. It's heavy enough that could crush you. If you were leaning over to read an album and it fell over
exhaling.
you and then spun you and choked you out. Jeff and I conferencing in the other room. We think that you're just on your phone.
Yeah.
He's on Instagram.
He's being funny.
He's watching his funny vids. No, he loves to laugh funny. No, he's gone.
This funny laugh.
He's gone.
All right.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah, dude.
America through the eyes of two Americans.
Episode number
712 of our comedy podcast. We started in February of 2006. It is now, we're coming into April of 2019. Amazing. Come to the Lodge Room at Highland Park on Saturday night, April 20th. We got a show there. You came out and you said, I'm going to come see you, and we sold out the show. The Lodge Room said, let's put another show, do one later that night. We were like, that would be awesome. there is a second show, and there are still tickets available for that show. Tickets are selling.
They are.
So get on there and grab your ticks for the second show. That is 420. That is be 17 years sober on that day. Just rando. So come see us so we can say thank you in person. And then if you're anywhere near Detroit, we're doing a show in Ferndale, Michigan, Saturday night, June 22nd at the Magic Bag. We got to do a show there last year. It was fantastic. It's a great venue.
Great venue.
And fine people. A proud people. The people not only of Detroit, but of the state of Michigan.
Yes.
In the peninsulas and such.
Yes. And some Torontonians as well. They'll make the trek over.
I thought we figured that was like really far away. Didn't we look at the map?
I think people still did it, though.
They still did it.
Yeah.
Wow.
People are going to do it this time as well. Wow. It is a long trek, though. Windsor.
Yeah. That's my friends from Windsor.
Yes.
Some of my old.
And then also July 6th, a Saturday in New Orleans, Louisiana, 4th of July weekend.
4th of July weekend in Louisiana.
Amir's birthday, 7/6.
Amir Yagmai's birthday.
At One-Eyed Jack's in the French Quarter.
Is that on Toulouse Street?
Super pumped.
French Quarter is very...
Seth's first time to New Orleans, Louisiana.
New Orleans. Probably dress up. I'll probably go full Tennessee Williams, like suit, vest,
like linen.
tie. Just like, God, I'm wicked hot. We have like 9 layers on,
Seersucker.
but I'm a writer. Yeah.
Very seersucker, smoking a cigar.
Yeah, you look fucking
Cigarette.
insane.
And Saturday, July 27th.
Is that the old fucking, I'm Huey Long. Are you? I'm corrupt. Whatever, like Mitch Landrieu. Was he the mayor, that bald guy? I'm bald. I'm Mitch Landrieu. I'm just going to look up all the homies.
And dress up like all
And
of
just each hour, different costume. I'm this person. You'd look nothing like that person.
And then
I'm Big Frida.
Going back to
you have to stop with your costumes.
Going back to Brooklyn to the Murmur Ballroom, Saturday, July 27th.
That's a Saturday night.
That's another Saturday night. So I mean,
17 Eastern Parkway. What's that? Right across from the? Was there a little public park right there in Brooklyn? Beautiful public park.
Yeah. And then we're coming to you. We're doing summer shows. I
Trying our
mean, we
best.
took
I
a
guess that
minute.
would be-
We took a minute off, and now we're back in. So
July.
please come to those shows and come and see us in person and
please
say what's up.
If you're in LA, because we haven't done a show here
so long
since the 500th episode.
Yeah.
So this will be nice, and
this is sort of our closest to our anniversary show, our 13th anniversary. We booked it a little bit late, but it's all timed out.
Well, I guess
how it is.
Celebrated,
but this
celebrated
will
13
be it.
years.
And so all ticket links for those shows should be on our website. Also go to Patreon, our number one way that you can keep the show going, keep it commercial free, keep us alive and well, and bringing shows to you in both audio and video form. You also get access to the archives of all the past episodes and all the video episodes. You get discounts on merch on different tier levels. It means the world to us, and thank you to everyone who pledges. Please encourage other listeners to do so, and please consider doing that if you've been with us for a while.
You feel guilty because the big gods
will come. They know.
Big gods be like, "What's this transgression?" I know you listened to the show,
but did you?
You seem to enjoy it.
Did you Patreon the show?
Oh,
did you pledge it up?
So you don't pledge. So you don't care about the big gods. For the big dogs.
888.
You don't.
888-842-2357 is the toll-free voicemail. Check.
Big
Seth
gods.
listens to those voicemails,
The
relays
big
them.
Gods.
Relays them to me. And you can get me on Instagram or at my email addresses.
The big ones.
UhhYeahDude.com.
What about little gods?
Mini gods.
Mini gods. It's a tiny little god.
Wee gods.
Little wee gods. I'm a little god. I'm a little wee god.
I'm a little wee god from the six.
From Staten Island. I'm a little wee dog.
Come back for
little wee god. Fuck.
Fuck. Come back for 713.
Yeah, come back for episode 713. Yeah, dude. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. This is like we're so lucky that we get to do this. Please keep listening. It's just fucking insane. Thank you. Seatbelts.
Seatbelts.